Hello. Hello, am I audible? We'll be starting the class in 2 minutes. So if there's anyone who is joining either through an academy platform or through YouTube, might be called in. So let's begin the class. Hello everyone, I'm Rishi Mittal here, CAT 2019 Percentiler. So I'm starting with this chain of sessions wherein I'll be discussing the strategy with just over a couple of days, around a month left for CAT, on how to crack CAT, the softer parts basically. So the format will be there will be some talking from my end, but mostly I plan to catering on the questions for people who are attending through the Unacademy platform can post the questions in the comment section, and for those attending through the YouTube can also post it on the live chat itself. So to begin with, first of all, I'll give a little background about myself. I am a civil engineering fresher from NIT Surat, and this was my very first CAT attempt. In this attempt, I was able to get 100 percentile with 98.76 in VRC, 100 percentile in DILR, and 99.99 percentile in quantitative ability. So the flow of sessions will be something around these lines, wherein I'll be discussing what to do with the days that are left, how you can improve your scores. I'll be discussing the VRC strategies in detail, DILR strategy and quantitative ability strategies. Apart from that, since the paper pattern has changed this year for not only CAT but for many other OMED exams, I'll be discussing about how you can take an advantage of this pattern change, and following by the D-Day preparation tips and a huge portion of the Q&A part. I would suggest that you keep posting your questions while I'm talking. So whenever we delve in the questions, we'll have a good bank to answer. So starting with this, what to do in the next 38 days that are remaining and more as we go forward. So now is the time when people start panicking about the exam is coming, so much to cover, and the mock scores have been either fluctuating or have been consistently low. So how to improve then, what to do, a lot of queries on the sectional ends, a lot of query on what to study, what not to study right now, on how to attempt the mocks, what to prepare, what to expect. A lot of questions are there that the aspirants have. So I would really like you all to shoot your questions at me so that I can take them one by one and give a complete clarity on what to be done and how to be done. So to start with, I'll talk a little bit about the strategy on how to prepare from now on, and a lot about what to expect, what not to expect, how to keep your mindset, and how to go about it. So first, we need to understand that CAT is scary, but don't be scared of it, because that is where the change comes. Okay, yeah. So don't be scared. I mean, first thing that you need to do is remove the fear from yourself and take it head on. With the days that are left, this is a lot of time to prepare for CAT. For those who are joining in now, I will reiterate that keep posting your questions in the comments in the question section, and we will be taking them through the course of the class. So, continuing. So, now there are a lot of things that you need to take care of. First, attempt CAT as a set of three separate papers. This strategy was very important in CAT 2019 when the VRC section came extremely difficult. Many of the people who got affected by the first section itself then ended up, losing focus or losing the courage to actually face the next two sections, and that is where the ball game changed. So my target, my approach was to, take every section individually. If my one section is going good, I won't be too charged up that okay, my exam is going good, and take the next section with a preoccupied mind. No. Similarly, if one of my sections has not gone so good, I'll not let that affect my first subsequent sections. So as I said, the VRC section this year was pretty difficult, and that affected me as well. So in the first section, when I was facing issues, I was determined when the section got over that the next two sections will be different exams for me. I will start with a different and a fresh mindset. So that is where the difference comes in. Don't let one section affect the another. Next part that I'll say is that you need to adapt, accept, and overcome and crack this exam. What I mean by this, all of us are in a situation someday or the other that why VRC is first, or why so many sets, or why this question comes, or why that question comes, or why this system is like that. But one thing that we need to accept is that the system is not changing. What can change is you and your approach towards the exam. So that is where the acceptance part comes in. As soon as you accept what is there for you, then you adapt to the situation and then you are able to crack the exam. So do that. Yeah. So carrying on. As I said, accept, adapt, and overcome, crack the exam. That's the strategy for CAT and for that matter, most of the exams that you will be taking, be it ZAT, be it NMAT, SNAP, CMAT, TISMAT, all of the exams. Because this year, since the scenario is different, most of the colleges have changed their paper patterns. We don't know what is coming. There are a lot of surprises which can be expected. So the only way to crack all this is to stay calm and accept and adapt instantly to whatever comes. Now to do this, how to do this? This might sound very generic, but believe me, this works. This worked for me. Even with 38 days in hand, try doing meditation. Try doing, yoga in the morning or in the afternoon, anytime. Just 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Try to sit absolutely idle. Try to control your mind, because what happens in the exam, and this is a very, very key component. When you enter the exam hall, there is a huge window between you sitting at your desk till the exam starts. It can be 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, depending on when you are admitted. And at that moment, you don't have your mobile phones, you don't have your laptops, you don't have anyone to talk to, you cannot do anything on the screen. So that idle time is very difficult. That idle time is when you have to stay calm and you have to stay focused. This is something that not many people know, and they tend to, get baffled during that exam time, before the exam time. So try doing meditation and yoga, and that shall really, really help. For those who are joining in, keep shooting your questions in the comment section on YouTube or on the Unacademy chat. I'll be taking them up. Going forward, cat is actually consider cat as a dish. How would you like if a meal had too much salt or too much sugar, or any other ingredient a lot? You won't. So basically, this is a dish be a master chef of the same. Put everything in the right quantity, in the right proportion. Be it your hard work, be it your efforts, be it your focus on any of the sections or any other soft skills. They have to be in the right proportion. Overdoing any section, overdoing any type of questions will not be favoring you. So that is about keeping a right balance. Going forward, a lot more aspects to CAT again, as I say, there is no substitute to hard work. Now that we have around 38 days, so I believe many of you would have almost taken a lot of mock exams, would have analyzed a lot of mock exams. The scores might be fluctuating, especially I've seen, during September, October period, the scores drop. They even dropped for me for that matter. Towards the end of this period, preparation period, when I was nearing CAT, my scores started dropping and I kind of got demotivated. So this is the crucial time. These last 38, 40 days is when you have to stay motivated and you have to stay in the run. Don't give up. That is what is important. Next aspect of acing the exam is obtaining or maintaining your mindset. Now what I mean by that, now suppose on the day of exam I have had a quarrel with one of my friends or with my parents. So with that mindset I cannot go and give the exam. Even if I give the exam, I'll not be able to give my best. So what do you do? What you do is, before the exams, you can try this even with your mock exams that you have coming up, right? So before the exams, talk to your best friends or listen to the best or favorite music that you like, or maybe do something that you really like. Okay. So with as time is approaching, with the last month in hand, last week in hand, your amount of efforts, your areas of focus shall change. So keep that in mind. Um, you can ask questions. I am reiterating, you can ask questions, anything and absolutely everything that you like to know about CAT, about strategy, about the approach that needs to be taken. Feel free to ask absolutely anything. Now, for those of who are here attending, can I know in the comment section of what you feel is your weakest section, or the section that you fear the most? So, what is your fear area which you think, if this section was not there, it would have been better? Let me know in the comment section on YouTube and on Academy platform. What is something that you fear of this? So then we can approach that accordingly. And if you have any specific doubts regarding any section strategy or overall, you can feel free to ask. Okay, so Vansh has asked me that how many questions to attempt per section. Great question, Vansh. So, to answer your question, it depends. Let me be very specific. It depends how. Uh, it depends on your level of comfort. Now, when you have VRC, as I will be discussing my sectional strategies in this session and the forthcoming sessions, I'll be telling you on how to go about it, on how to attempt and how many to attempt. So there is no one right answer to that. You attempt as per your comfort area and as per the difficulty of the paper that you will gauge in the first few minutes when you start attempting the section, right? But uh, ideally, if you say, like last year when we had 300 marks paper and 100 questions in that, if you were able to do, maybe say, uh, attempt 70 odd questions with around 80 or 85% accuracy, that was good enough for you to get 99 plus percentile. So it's not very big a deal. It's just that you need to plan very well, you need to strategize, and then capitalize on your strengths. What you need to focus from now on, with the days that you have left, try not to focus a lot on your weaknesses, because this is the time when you need confidence. This is the time when you need the self confidence that yes, you can do it. And if at this time you are going ahead with difficult questions, or the sections which are weak for you, those can kill your confidence, and that is not what we want at this point, right? So what you do is, you identify what are your strong sections, what are your strong kind of question sets, and try to improve the accuracy and the speed of those sections. Okay, so moving forward. Uh, yeah, so hello everyone. Good afternoon. And I was asking that, what is your difficulty? Which section do you fear the most? Which one do you want me to take up first? About the strategy, about attempting, or about going ahead with this. So which one do you want me to take first? That is what I will go ahead. Let me know in the comment section. Okay, so I've got one question which is very relevant at this point in time. With the new CAT pattern, do you think that it might be slightly difficult to get the required percentile? No, not at all. Instead, what I believe is with the new pattern, it is easier to score higher. How? Let me explain. Uh, what happens is, I've seen many aspirants, including myself, when it was a 3 hour paper. By the time 2 hours get over, when you're done with VRs, you're done with DILR, by the time the quant comes, we are tired, we are fatigued, sitting in one place, staring at the screen continuously, and solving and focusing. So the efficiency goes down. With the new pattern, what happens is that you are able to focus. You just have to focus for 2 hours. So that will be an advantage for all the aspirants. Secondly, if you focus, if you see that the paper pattern has not changed only for you, paper pattern has changed for everyone. So the marks might increase, the percentile will not. That is what you need to focus. Don't get scared that the paper pattern has changed and that can affect your complete strategy, or that can affect on how you are functioning or attempting the paper. No, it has changed for everyone. And the person who is able to adapt to this, as I said in the very beginning of the lecture, the person who is able to adapt to this paper pattern the fastest will be able to score the best in this. So, okay, I see quants, and a lot of quants. Okay, so let's start with quantitative ability first, followed by the sections. So, fair enough. Keep shooting your questions. People on the Academy platform and on YouTube, keep shooting your questions. Anything and everything that you have, we will be answering them today and the sessions coming ahead. So now talking about quantitative ability. Yeah, before I get into quantitative ability, one last thing that I would really want to give in the common strategy part. That would be analysis of mocks is most important. You might have solved a lot of books, you might have read a lot of theory, you might have attempted a lot of mocks, but what actually improves your score is the analysis of those mocks. So you need to focus on the analysis part. Henceforth, when you are doing any mock, analyze it very well. Also, what I would suggest is, as you go forward, try to analyze the mocks that you have done previously, each section, each question again. So what will happen is that you will see how your preparation has changed, how your approach has changed, how your accuracy or speed would have changed. And still you will find some questions which you're not very comfortable with. That is the advantage of this. When you'll be able to realize and recap the complete journey that you've taken. Because what happens is that the mocks that you have taken of whichever classes, they keep the complete range of questions in different mocks. So when you sit and revise those one at a time, you will be actually revising all the formats and frameworks that you can expect in the exam. So what I would suggest is, going forward, give a lot of analysis to each mock, and also try to analyze the mocks that you have given so far. That is very important. Okay, so uh, I have one question here. Sir, I have done my basics and I'm using only the mocks to solve and plug my knowledge gaps and identify strengths. Is it a good strategy working backwards from the mocks? Okay, Aditya. So yes, it is a good strategy to work backwards from the mocks if you have done your concepts at least once. So how that helps? If you keep solving your books, if you keep reading your theory, uh, you will improve to a certain level. After that, you will stagnate. What you need to test is your ability to solve those questions or those topics under time pressure, under exam pressure. So, when you are working from mocks, you are able to identify your strengths and your weaknesses. So, when you're able to do that, you know what you can be comfortable or what you can vouch upon and what you need to work upon. This was very much my strategy that, I used to, I did all the concepts once, and then I used to just plug in my knowledge into mocks, identify my strengths and weaknesses, and work on those weaknesses iteratively as mocks advanced. So as I said just a couple of minutes back, that try analyzing your mocks again. So you'll find your weaknesses. Try to write them down. Whether those weaknesses have been occurring again and again, have you improved? What is the trend? If there's one particular thing which has been coming on and off, try to study those concepts again so that you can save every single mark on the exam day, right? Next is any suggestion as to how the mock scores can be improved in VRC, especially the RC section. And sir, how to be organized in the exam time? Fair enough. I'll take both these questions. Great. Right. So we will be taking the VRC question when we do the VRC section. I think the majority of the demand is for the quant section, so we can start with that. And regarding Shubham, your question on how to be organized in the exam time, I think you joined a little late. I just iterated that, try to do meditation and little yoga every day so that you are calm. Calmness is the key when you are there in the exam time. You don't let your ego come in when you're giving the exam. What happens is at a lot of times, if there's a section, suppose I am good with numbers or algebra, and if I see a question which is of algebra, so it comes to me that yes, I can solve this and I will solve this. Suppose that question comes out to be tricky. It is a trap question. Now, if I have ego in myself, I will waste a lot of time. There's no guarantee that I'll get it right. So, getting negative marks at the cost of time does not make sense. So, how you manage time is you do what you know and you keep the rest for the later part. Okay, that is how we enter the quantitative abilities section strategy. So, guys who want, you can take note of what I'm going to say in this QA strategy because this worked wonders for me and I was able to score 99.99 percentile in quantitative ability section. So, this strategy really works. What you do? So, this is something that I like to call the ABC strategy. You might have read it otherwise as well, but let me just give you my version of it. So, how this works out? So, when you enter the section, okay, I'll be taking some references from the past pattern so that you can understand how to adapt it to the new pattern itself. Okay, so we had 34 questions and 1 hour. That is what many of you might have done in the mocks. So what you do is it's very important to gain confidence at every step of the exam. What you do when you enter the paper, just try to randomly search questions which are of your home ground, your comfort zone, okay, your area of interest. Then what happens is that try to solve 2 to 3 questions in the first 5 minutes. Because what happens is that if you pick a wrong question, or if you go, chronologically, and if the first question is wrong, first question is difficult, what happens is that you get stressed because you see that it's 5 or 10 minutes on the clock and you're not solved a single question. So what you do is you search for questions or topics which are your strengths, which are your home ground, which are your comfort zone, and then you solve those to start with. Then you start from whichever order you want, top to bottom or bottom to top. And what you do is the ABC approach. What is ABC? So for me, the A, B, C are type of questions. A refers to the easy questions or maybe the questions that I'm really comfortable with, right? If you give me a PNC question, I'll do it first. If you give me an algebra question, I'll do it first. If you give me a geometry question, I'll do it last. So, categorizing each question in that manner, that is what ABC is. Let me tell you how to actually use it in the exam paper. So what you do is you start doing the paper, okay? First question, you see that it's a question which you like, the area you like, the question seems easy, you solve it. That's an A category question. You solve all the A category questions in the first reading and first attempt of the paper of the section. Okay. The B category questions are those which might be either of your interest area and would be difficult questions, or would be of the area which are not your strengths but they would be easy questions. And the C type of questions are the very difficult ones. Very difficult is a subjective term. So for me, a difficult question of geometry was very difficult because my geometry was very weak. So that's how you categorize. I am not telling you you first sit and for the 10 minutes you start categorizing. No, don't do that. That's a waste of time. What you do is, as you start the paper, as I said, once you're done with 2 or 3 questions in the first 5 minutes, you've gained that confidence that yes, this section is under your control. Then you start solving in order. First question, if you see that okay, this is a type question for me, I'll solve it right away. You go to question number 2. This seems like a good area, but I'm not sure if this question is easy or difficult. It's very lengthy. You mark it. You mark the B type questions. You go to the third question, and you see that this is of an area which is scary for me. I don't want to attempt this first. You skip it for now. That is a C type question. So once you do this, you will see how much your efficiency is increasing in the paper. How earlier, if you are attempting in the order, you're taking the easy questions and the right questions together, your speed keeps fluctuating, your confidence keeps fluctuating. That is where the catch comes. You need to just keep it increasing. You need to keep it linear. So how that works out? Now, if I've done ABC for all the questions, so what I see that okay, it's 30 minutes on the clock. I have done 30 minutes, and I was able to solve say 10 or 15 questions because I went through all of them and I picked the easy ones and I did them. So basically, you grab the easy marks first. Then in the next 15-20 minutes, you go for the B type questions. You say, okay, 15 are solved, X number of questions are left. Then you see the question that you have marked. The marked are your B type questions. So when you look at those B type questions, give them some time. Okay. And then what you do is, once you are done with attempting a B type questions, you will find that some of them were easy, you're able to crack them. Some of them were tough and can be moved to the C type questions. That is where you unmark it again and you skip it for now. So ideally by the end of say, for a 40-minute paper, if I must say, the E type will end in around 20 minutes. And by the end of say 32 minutes, 33 minutes, you'll see that you have attempted a good chunk of questions, be it your easy ones or be it your B type questions. Then you can go to the C type questions. What do you do in C type questions? C type questions can be of two types. First, it's an area that you're okay with, but the question is very difficult. Second, it's an area which you are scared of and the question is difficult, or the question is medium, but you don't know because the area is not well prepared by you. So that's a trade-off. There you sit and you choose. Okay, what do I need to do? Which one looks more achievable for me? That's a call you take then and there. Okay, so that is about attempting the quantitative ability section. Next up, many people ask, how about using calculator and all? Use it. People say that using calculator is bad. No, I used it in my paper. But what you need to keep in mind is that using calculator is a trade-off with time, because a calculation on screen calculator you don't have a keyboard, right? So you have to actually press every single number, every single operation over there. That takes time. But if you're not sure if the calculations are too big, so then doing it quickly without using calculator, but costing marks will not make sense. So use the calculator, but use it wisely. You use it judiciously. What you're doing and how much you're using it. Okay. But on the same time, I will say that try to improve your mental mathematics. That will not only help you in quantitative ability, but it will also help you in your DIR section, because There, when you have simple DI calculations or LR calculations, again, the calculator usage is tempting, but you need to look at the trade-off. The trade-off is time, and time is very, very crucial when it comes to CAT or any of these OMET exams, right? Now, let me tell you how to analyze the quantitative ability section. Okay, so before that, let's take some questions. I see there are a lot of questions. Okay. Vanch has asked, I fear the quant section a lot and tend to leave the section in between. What to do? Vanch, I hope I was able to answer that. When you do the ABC section, you will be, doing the easy ones. So the fear will come out. You'll do 2 or 3 questions in the beginning so that you'll have confidence. So once you learn to categorize these questions, so what you do is try this method in the forthcoming mocks, and also when you analyze your previous mocks, try to see if this question is A, B, or C. Just mentally try to categorize it. This will really, really help. Believe me. Okay, we have a lot of questions here. Let's take a couple of questions first. Okay. Shubham, I think I answered how to be organized in the exam time for at least QA. Okay. Shubham, again, I get really panic in mocks. I agree. I used to, but that's what I said, right? Try to do yoga every day. I'm not saying you do all the different kinds of asanas and all. No, just try to sit and keep your mind blank. Try to focus on your breathing. This will make you stay calm. In the exam, it is not necessary that you keep solving all the time. No, you don't do that. Because in my paper, I remember in CAT 19, after a horrendous VRC section, when the DLR section started, I actually just sat down for a couple of minutes to calm myself down so that the previous section does not affect my next section. That is very, very important. So being able to control your mind, being able to be calm and focused is the key over here. Next, Sahil is asking, sir, tried variety of methods, but score is not improving in mocks. Right. So Sahil, as I said, I just covered the QA part. Try to do this. I will also tell you how to analyze the QA section mocks, and I hope it increases because these methods have been personally used by me. These are my experience-based methods, and they do work. They do work. They work wonders. Okay. So I have a question, sir. Sometimes it happens we are actually not able to solve our sections, strong sections questions. Absolutely, Vinny. Absolutely, I agree with your question. So, just a second, guys. Okay. So I absolutely get your question because there were mocks wherein my strength, which is DLR or QA, I was not able to solve. But then what you do? How do you approach that situation? You try to not go into negatives because what happens is if there's a tough QA section and if QA is my strength, it comes to my ego that I need to solve this. This is my strength. If I don't make it, I will not be able to make it. But that's not true. If your strength has come tough, it's tough for everyone. First, realize that. Second, understand that because it is tough, it is still your strength. So people who are doing the exam, the section, for whom the section is not the strength, they are suffering more than you are. Third, when a section or an exam comes difficult, the key is not to attempt a lot, but to actually increase your accuracy. When the paper is tough, you don't need to fight on time, you need to fight on accuracy. Try to keep your accuracy high, try to keep your negatives as minimum as possible, and believe me, that will work wonders for you. Because when the section is tough, you will still be able to find a set of questions. Suppose, as I said, for quantitative ability, if you use the ABC approach, you will still be able to find easy questions, medium questions, and try to maximize the accuracy there. That is how you face the strong sections which are tough. I hope I was able to answer that, Vinny. And for other sections, I will also be covering the strategy as I said. Okay, Aditya is asking, I'm aware that you attempted all the VRC questions last year. That happened to be my strength, and I'm planning to attempt all too. How did you improve speed during doing 20 out of 23 now? Okay, Aditya, I'll be covering this in the VRC discussion. How many questions did you attempt, and what do you suggest, typically increasing attempts or increasing accuracy? Okay, so Kin R has asked this question. Okay, I'll be very honest. In my CAT, I attempted all the questions in all the sections. So that surely is based on your practice and your luck. Believe me, luck plays a big role, right? So what you do is what do you suggest, typically increasing attempts or increasing accuracy? Accuracy first, accuracy, then speed. Speed is attempts. Always go for accuracy first. When I start giving mocks during my preparation time, I used to attempt huge number of questions and get huge number of negatives. But that's not how it works, right? You need to score. No one is judging you on less attempts or more attempts. They are judging you on your score. Accuracy comes above attempts. And as I said before answering this question also, that in the previous question, the paper is tough or easy. Accuracy will be your go-to strategy always. Okay, so Kinar is also asking, sir, there isn't enough time in quants. As I said, Kinar, if you are attempting in an order, going for the easy questions along with the medium, along with the tough, you will fall short of time. You will fall short of your best marks. You will fall short of your efficiency. So what you do is simply go for the ABC, look at all the questions, solve the easy ones, solve the medium ones, keep track of time, finally fight for the difficult ones, because those difficult ones are supposed to be difficult, especially if that is not your comfort zone. So time is okay, but try to keep your accuracy high with the attempts that you have. With that, what will happen is you'll be able to maximize your score, because when you analyze the mock, and there are times that, oh my god, I could have done this question, I knew this question, I did a silly mistake. All that will not happen. Just try to keep your accuracy high and attempts ideal for personally yourself. Okay, so Shubham Mishra is asking, how much do we target to attempt? Shubham, again, as I said in the lecture in the beginning, that there is no particular number that you should focus upon for attempting. It depends on the paper, it depends on the section, it depends on your strength, and it depends on the day. The variables are way too many. Okay, but as I have been iterating again and again, keep the accuracy high. And believe me, try to this to this ABC approach. I'm gonna have 5 sessions over the next 3 or 4 weeks. Attempt these sections from the start till the end. It will be just a 1 hour session. Bring as many people as you know who can benefit from this. And try the techniques that I'm telling you. If they work, let me know. If they don't, let me know. I know they will, because I have done those. I have got through my journey with these particular techniques. For those who have joined late, one important point that I had covered in the beginning is that there's a gap of time between the time when you enter the exam center till the time the exam starts. A lot of people tend to baffle in that time. Try to keep calm. That is important. Okay, so coming back to the analysis of the QA section, all of you might have your own strategies. So this is my strategy. This is how I used to do it, and you can try as well if you like. Okay. So now, when we talk about the QA analysis part, what you need to do is that what I used to do is that first I used to check how many I've attempted, how many correct, how many wrong. I used to write those down. Then I used to write the list of chapters. Okay, the exam had 5 questions from algebra. I attempted 4, I got 4 correct. 1 I did not attempt. The exam had 5 questions from numbers. I attempted all 5, got 4 correct, 1 wrong. Exam had 3 questions on geometry. I attempted all 3, got all 3 wrong. Do this. Make this table for every mock that you're going to attempt and for every mock that you have attempted. With this, what will happen, let me tell you, is that you will be able to see a very clear trend as to what has been your strength, whether you have been maintaining your accuracy or not, which section your accuracy is high, which section your accuracy is low, because you only mark an answer when you know it, but it's wrong. So then, how to do, what to do? Excuse me. Right. So when you do this for all the mocks that you have done so far and the mocks that you're going to do in the future, you'll be able to see the weaknesses. You'll be able to see your fears. What are the topics that I'm not attempting? What are the topics I'm attempting but I'm getting them wrong again and again and again? What are the topics that are my strengths? I'm attempting and getting maximum marks out of those section. Having that knowledge is very important when it comes to the exam attempting, because only once you have that knowledge will you be able to understand what are your A, B, and C type questions, right? Because there was a time, when I felt okay, coordinate geometry is very good for me. But when I saw this trend, when I did this kind of an analysis, I felt I was attempting every time, but I was getting them wrong every time. So, when you just do an overall analysis of any mock, you don't look at this aspect. And that is why improving in quantitative ability section becomes difficult. So, what you do is do this for all the mocks, reanalyze the mocks that you already have, analyze the mocks that you're going to give, identify this trend, and once you have this trend, try to note down that what are my A type questions. Numbers, algebra, PNC, probability, that falls in A type for me. Identify your sections for A type questions. After that, identify your C type questions. Geometry is a definitely C for me. I was not the best at geometry. Identify that. Now, what you do after that? Once you've identified your weaknesses, sections which you are fluctuating in your attempts, your accuracy is fluctuating. That is where you improve in these last 38 days. I would suggest, this is again a suggestion, not a hardcore statement. This is a suggestion. Stay away from your weaknesses now. Try to build on the fluctuating areas and capitalize on your strengths. So, how this will work is that try to do sectionals. Now, since I have covered QA today, I'll be taking 5 sessions, in the next 1 or 2 weeks, and I'll be giving such details for every section. So once this session is over, go back, attempt to analyze all your mocks that you have done. Do this analysis which I have told you. Identify your weaknesses. Identify your B type questions, C type questions, and then take up sectionals. When you take up quantitative ability sectionals, try to give a conscious effort to attempt in the manner that I've told you. Try to apply ABC. Try to see if this actually works for you or not. Because any technique cannot be mastered in one day or one exam. No. Give it some time. So go back, do all of this. And once you have done all of this, again analyze those sectional mocks as well. Make this analysis for those sectional mocks. Jot down the trends. And believe me, you will see a clear picture of what you have been doing right or wrong. You'll be able to see the complete trend. And once you have identified that, try to revise the theory, the concepts of those fluctuating weaknesses. Because at the end, CAT is not about tricks. CAT is about conceptual clarity. CAT is about knowing your concepts, knowing your approach, right? It is not about that, okay, this type of question comes, I'll just plug in this formula and it will be done. No. Many of the times in CAT, you will observe that, there were questions which were of a known topic. But the twist was in such a manner that your formula that you remember, the trick that you remember does not work. And in case you end up applying that trick, you will not only lose time but also lose marks. You'll get negative marks. So that is kind of overall strategy for QA and how to attempt, how to analyze, how to prepare from now on. If you have any other questions regarding QA on for the YouTubers, watchers, or the uh, watchers on Unacademy, shoot it right now. Otherwise, we will move forward with the next topic for the day. I'll give you some time. Shoot the questions. Anything or everything that you have. Are there any questions? Okay, so fair enough. I think there are no questions as of now. Or was I so clear? Okay, fair enough. So going ahead, um, as I said, I've discussed a couple of general tips of what can be done for the preparation. I have um, walked you through the quantitative ability part in very detail as much as I could. So, okay, there's a question, sir. QA MCATs are very tough. Your thoughts? Uh, I agree. There are a couple of questions, papers which come out very tough, and you need to prepare for that. What happens is that if you go for a particular type of classes or particular type of source of questions, you get to accustomed to those type of questions, and if the paper comes anything out of that, you feel out of preparation. So what you do is don't get bogged down by the difficulty of certain mocks or certain papers or certain sectionals. Think of them that if this came on the CAT day, how would you maximize your score? Because CAT is about not about getting a huge amount of marks. No, it's about maximizing your score, maximizing accuracy. So if the paper is difficult, as I said, Aditya, before this, it's difficult for everyone. So all you need to do is focus on your accuracy and try to maximize your marks. That is how you attempt AIMCAT papers in general if you are asking for those if they are difficult. Any other questions for this QA? Anything else regarding preparation, regarding attempting, regarding analyzing, or any other general strategy questions? If you have anything, just shoot. We can discuss it. We have a couple of minutes. There is no hard stop on 1 hour. We can go until the questions are answered. So feel free, absolutely anything. Okay, so we have a question asking, do you recommend any specific test series? Vimal, first of all, at this point in time, when you are 30 days, 38 days away from CAT, recommending any specific test series would be wrong. What I would say is that, if you have been practicing with two test series, be it any test series, be it IMS, Time, CL, Unacademy, or uh, iQuanta, any such platform, okay, keep it two, because as I said just before this, and don't get accustomed to one type, because that will hurt you in the exam day if the paper does not come on those lines. So try to do a variety of papers. Try to pick up past uh, test series papers of different classes. Even they are really helpful. Pick up sectional mocks. Okay, Ronit is asking how will be the difficulty level of this year's CAT. I mean, this answer I don't think anyone can give, but uh, since you have a 2 hour paper, the format is new, right? So, and you have three slots, I believe. So there are surprises out there, no doubt. But again, as I've been saying, surprises are for everyone, changes are for everyone. Just try to adapt to these changes and try to maximize your score. This year, the competition is going to be very high, much more than last year. So, for this year, you need to have special amount of preparation. And since people are sitting at home, people are sitting in the lockdown, along with their academics or job or anything, the preparation for CAT is more rigorous. So, a couple of tips for this year, particularly, do not panic, first of all. The paper pattern is a surprise so far. We know the duration and the sectional time, but the pattern is not known. So don't be surprised. Don't panic. Right now, different classes are making mocks on their understanding of the format. Are making sectionals on their understanding of the format. So get a chance. If you get a chance, try to attempt different uh, mocks of different classes. This will give you an idea, a flavor of different patterns in terms of marking scheme, in terms of the platforms, in terms of the the difficulty level, everything. Okay. So what happens is this is what even I had done. When the last couple of days were left, I used to take up IMS and time test series. But in the last days, I also attempted CL mocks. I attempted a lot of I quanta mocks and different things. So how that helped me? CL mock particularly had this format that wherein behind the questions they would have your roll number written. So, a lot of my friends face difficulty when this happened in CAT because on the CAT paper, behind the question, your roll number is written. So many people are not able to read or differentiate between that. So that I had an advantage because I had attempted a couple of CL mocks. Similarly, uh, these different mocks will give you an exposure, as I said, of different flavors of different types of questions. So in these last 38, 40 days that you have in hand, uh, you should change your strategy of preparation. You should change how you are working. Okay, next. I have not completed anything. How will I do it? 38 days, if you are able to put day and night, anything is possible, believe me. I remember when I was preparing my last mock that I gave, SimCAT 15, I got my worst rank in my complete preparation on that mock. So, in light of that, if you're focused and you have this time, just plan it to the minute, and believe me, anything is possible. I'm getting 12 plus questions correct in LRDI in 40-minute mock. Is this a good attempt? And I'm scoring 92 percentile in LRDI. Uh, Divyansh, see, again, as I said, there is no one right number for for a person whose strength is LRDI. Getting lower number would be not good because when the strength is LRDI, other two sections are comparatively compromised. But for a person whose weakness is LRDI, getting any number of questions with the right accuracy can only add to the score, right? Percentile in these mocks are very volatile and they are not any way a close representation of what your actual percentile can be. But yes, I will tell you to try to maximize your percentile in mocks as well because somewhere they will give you an idea of how other students or your competitor or your fellow aspirants are preparing, how they are scoring, right? So if you're getting 12 plus, it's good, but you need to improve. You need to improve every single day. My personal best in mocks was around 5 to 6 sets on a good day out of 8 sets that we used to have. But on the CAT day, I was lucky and I was able to solve all the 8 sets. That is because of the practice that I had done and the calmness that I was able to keep. So, when I was able to get 5 sets, that does not mean that I was bad. There was a mock I was able to get only 3 sets. Doesn't mean I was bad. So it depends on a lot of variables. And you need to try to put in favor as many variables as you can for yourself. Okay, so we have a question now. I am only going with arithmetic and algebra. Is it okay? Okay, so the thing is, that's a gamble. Okay, I don't know the word, but it's a gamble for sure. Suppose the paper setters decide to make 50% of the paper on algebra or arithmetic. It's a win for you. But if they decide to focus on any other area, then what? So, in my opinion, if those are your strengths, definitely try to capitalize on those. That's great. But do not ignore the other chapters of the quantitative ability section, because that's a very big gamble. Now, for example, what happens if other sections or the chapters come out to be easy, and the chapters that you have prepared come out to be very difficult? So that gamble, I don't know if it's worth taking or not. Okay, so just to wholly summarize of what, okay, so we have I'm getting 58 to 60 marks in CL mocks. Is this score bad considering the new pattern? Ankit, again a very subjective question, right? Mock marks, there is nothing good or bad. In mocks, I used to get uh, X amount of marks, right? My best was something, but on the CAT day, my marks were something very different, right? I started with 103 marks in mocks, 103 out of 300 in a 3 hour mock, and I went to 244 in CAT. So, if I would have asked whether 103 is good or bad for me, it would not have been a very valid question. So those who are worrying about, I have my 10th, 12th and graduation score itna, and I'm scoring so much in mocks. Don't don't worry about all those things. All those come later on. Right now, just try to improve on your accuracy. Post that, try to improve on your speed. Try to capitalize on your strengths. That is exactly how you will get through it. And the softer parts, as I have told you, meditation is important. Try to read newspaper because that will help you down the line. That will help you not only in VRC but also for the process after CAT. That is very important. Okay. Ronit is asking, sir, give me some tips to ace LRDI, VRC, and QA in this short time. I'm getting confident in QA but not LRDI and VRC. What should I do? Ronit, you should attend my forthcoming sessions. As I covered QA in this 1 hour, I have completely broken down every step of approaching the QA section in this time. Similarly, I'll be breaking down LRDI for you, I'll be breaking down VRC for you, and telling you how to prepare in this short time, how to maximize your score. So that is basically what I'm saying, that everyone who is watching right now on YouTube or Unacademy, don't miss a session and get as many people as you know to attend these sessions, because these are my tricks and tips and suggestions from my personal experience, and these have really helped me achieve the percentile that I got. So right now I would say that confidence is the key. Practice past mocks, meditation, reading newspapers, do all of this. Improve on your mental mathematics. Addition, subtraction, two-digit multiplications. Try to do that mentally. Using a calculator, it's not a crime, but use it judiciously. Number of attempts are not important unless you are able to maintain that accuracy. Low attempts with good accuracy, good. That is better than having a lot of attempts with a bad accuracy. Because when you do a lot of attempts with a bad accuracy, you not only lose on your positive marks, but you actually come down with the negative marks. If you have any other questions regarding anything on quantitative ability or overall catch strategy, shoot them on YouTube or on Unacademy. Nothing like that. Nothing like that, Ronit. Thank you for the compliment, though. So, guys, if there is anything at all, either ask it now or you can join in the next session when I'm keeping it, you know, for insights about VRC and DLR. Right, Vimal, I'll be discussing the DLR strategy in my forthcoming sessions, so don't miss it. Believe me, my VRC sessions will be very, very comprehensive. I'll be covering every type of RC, every type of questions that come in an RC, every type of VA question, how to attempt, how much to attempt, and a lot of things. Okay, so these sessions will be in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Most probably, we can have probably the next session on this weekend. You will be notified, and so let's see and do attend, right? So, guys, I'll be wrapping up with this, and thank you so much for attending. I hope this was a value addition to your preparation and your strategies. This was session 1 of 5. Do join in for further sessions, and you will get an insight, the softer aspect to preparing for CAT. And signing off from Unacademy. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Have a good day. Joining for the next sessions.